Good morning, everybody. It's always a pleasure to have people get in touch and comment on videos. And there was one yesterday that was particularly interesting to do with a case I wasn't aware of, but let's just put up the comment. It was Karen Regal who commented on the video about immunity. Karen, thank you very much for getting in touch. South Dakota Attorney General Jason Warnsberg, I think that's pronounced Warnsberg, in 2017 killed a pedestrian walking on a lonely highway in the middle of the night. The pedestrian went through the windshield of the car, yet the Attorney General said he thought the pedestrian was a deer and left the scene and the pedestrian to die in the middle of the night. Hard to imagine a deer having a working light, which the pedestrian was wearing at the time. The Attorney General also was texting while driving. The Attorney General accepted a plea bargain, which was a misdemeanor, and fined $1,000. A judge tried to make the Attorney General do community service, but the Attorney General was infuriated at such an idea and did not do any community service. The family of the deceased did not get the chance to speak to the Attorney General at sentencing because it was such an insignificant case. The Attorney General did not have to even be present in the court at sentencing. Imagine in South Dakota getting sentenced to prison for 15 years and fined $30,000 for smoking a joint, and yet at the same time, the Attorney General gets a misdemeanor fine for vehicular homicide. The Attorney General still is in office, and America still has no justice system. So I wanted to take another quick look at this particular case, because it was it's particularly horrible when that sort of thing happens. So let's just pop up. I came across wrong one. Don't worry, I will eventually figure out how to operate this computer. And here in the UK we have Sky. I have Sky TV. I think it's the same as your Fox, but Sky News. Jason Warnsberg, I'm sure it's Warn. There was a very famous speedway rider called Peter Warn, and one of the fastest men on a speedway bike, a Danish rider. So I think it's Warnsberg. If it's Ravensburg, sorry. A man in charge of justice in South Dakota charged with misdemeanor after fatal crash. South Dakota's Attorney General had been at a Republican fundraiser before hitting 55-year-old Joseph Bover on his journey home. The man who heads up South Dakota's justice efforts has been charged on misdemeanor counts after being involved in a fatal crash last summer. Jason Warnsberg, the Attorney General for the state, is facing a month behind bars and a fine of up to $500 per count after being charged with careless driving, driving out of his lane, and operating a motor vehicle while on his phone at the time of the incident. Well, if it was $500 a time, then that would have been $1,500. So that'll be interesting. It's about £360 anyway for each charge. My goodness, look at the state of the guy. He had been driving home from a Republican fundraiser on the night of 12th September when he killed Joseph Bover. He thought he'd hit a deer. Seriously, Warnsberg thought he had hit a deer on the night of the crash. Warnsberg, 44, told police he thought he had hit a deer or another large animal and had searched the area using his torch on his phone. He claimed that it was not until the following day, when he visited the crash site, that he realized he had killed someone. Now, Emily Sovell, the Hyde County Deputy State Attorney, said the evidence did not support bringing more serious charges on Runsberg, such as manslaughter. Emily, you needed to get in touch with Uyghur and Fassbender. They can pluck evidence out of thin air, trust me. They're in Wisconsin, which isn't far away. Go and have a word with them. They will get you. They'll get you anything. Okay. You want a tow? They'll get you a tow by the afternoon. They are two of the most amazing detectives you'll ever come across. Miss Sovell added that to lay a charge of manslaughter, the state would have to prove that Runsberg consciously and unjustifiably disregarded a substantial risk. You want evidence? Just get in touch with them. They would do the job for you. Runsberg said he is confident that he did not commit a crime and that he had not been drinking before the crash, which is backed up by a toxicology report. Okay, when it comes to this sort of evidence, Leslie Eisenberg, Sherry Colhane, they will get you the evidence. And if not, they will bend the rules and do things they've never, ever done before in order to make sure that that DNA is there, okay? Just get in touch with Wisconsin. Investigators have used mobile phone and GPS data video footage from along the road where the crash happened and DNA evidence to make their decision. Nick Nemec, the victim's cousin, says he is disappointed by the decision. The victim's family have disputed the account given by the Attorney General and says they are disappointed but not surprised at the decision by the county prosecutor. Nick Nemec, the cousin of Joseph Bover, called South Dakota manslaughter laws weak and was expecting other family members to bring a civil case against Runsberg. I was afraid the charge would be something on the order of crossing the right line, and that's exactly what the charge was, he said. Runsberg said, I appreciate more than ever that the presumption of innocence placed within our legal system continues to work, adding that he could not imagine the pain and loss of the victim's family. In South Dakota, the law requires people to walk on the side of the road facing the traffic when near highways, such as the one where the crash occurred. That's the same here. Okay. Well, like I said, and I'm sure you would agree, Emily Sovell, if you're struggling for evidence, DNA, all that kind of stuff, just get in touch with Wisconsin. In fact, I can give you Mark Wiegert's email address because he's replied to a couple of emails in the past. So there you go. Terrible, isn't it? I mean, we've got also that case of the Anne Sekulis, the young lad, Harry Brook. Is it Harry Brooks? It was Harry Dunn. Similar sort of thing. Drives out of an American airbase, driving on the wrong side of the road. We drive on the left here in Britain, plows into a motorcyclist, kills him. He's told to hang around, but then clears off to America, where Donald Trump promptly comes up with all sorts of excuses like, we're wrong in the UK for driving on the left. Well, we've been driving on the left since before anybody found America, or what was it in that video about that the Italian prosecutor who was saying of the American legal system, they were criticizing the Italian court, and yet they had a court in wherever it was in Italy in the 13th century, when over in America they were painting pictures of buffaloes on caves. Anyway, let's not start any international conflicts. It just sucks, doesn't it? It's clearly when you are the person in power, there's and you're in charge of the legal system, there's no way that your colleagues are going to take you down for something. It's just ridiculous to think that, as it said in the report there, there's going to have to be some sort of civil action by the family to get justice on this, in the same way that Michael Bell is pursuing Joss Call in the and Governor Evers over the death of his son, Michael Bell Jr. Anyway, better crack on. Somebody's got work to do, and we'll see you all again soon. As early as tomorrow morning, I'll be having a chat with Tracy Keogh, but I'll probably do that as a Zoom call and then schedule it for later on, because 8 o'clock in the morning my time is not very good for Americans because it's 2 in the morning. So I think if we do the recording and then publish it as a premiere, as the dude used to say. Hello, Jock. He's absolutely soaking wet. We've been out on a walk this morning, and he doesn't mind the rain. But, it's good when you get the hair wet on the head. Spike it up like a Mohican. I can take a picture of you, Jock, just as you are. That's it. You got to keep still, Jock. That's it. Good. Okie dokie. We'll see if that works. Take care. Bye for now.